Okay, so MasTec just dropped a monster of a quarter, but honestly, the real story here isn't just about the record profits. It's about this massive billion-dollar bet they're making on the future of American infrastructure. We're going to break down exactly how they've managed to build this incredible pipeline of work that pretty much guarantees their growth for years to come.
Let's just start with the biggest number on the page, $19 billion. And get this, that's not revenue they've already made. Nope, that's the value of projects they already have locked in for the next 18 months. It's a record-smashing pipeline that gives them, and I'm quoting their CEO here, the best long-term visibility they have ever had.
So, how in the world do you build a $19 billion future? Well, you start by delivering a quarter that just blows everyone away. MasTec's latest results didn't just meet expectations, they completely shattered them. And that's the fuel for this incredible backlog we're talking about. I mean, just look at the difference between what was expected and what actually happened. Wall Street was thinking, okay, maybe $3.71 billion in revenue. MasTec comes in at nearly $4 billion. Analysts predicted earnings around $1.94 per share. MasTec delivered $2.07. They're not just winning, they're winning by a mile.
You can just feel the momentum here. Year over year, we're seeing these huge jumps across every single important metric. Revenue, up 16%. That backlog we keep talking about, it exploded by 33%. And what about profitability? Adjusted earnings per share soared by an unbelievable 44%.
All right, let's zoom in on that backlog for a second, because it really is the heart of this whole story. What it means, basically, is pre-sold work. These are contracts they've already won that guarantee money is coming in the door for the next year and a half. You know, for a company in this industry, that kind of certainty, it's the holy grail. And this chart, wow, it really puts the scale of that leap into perspective. In just 1 year, they added almost $5 billion in future work. That's a 33% increase on a base that was already huge. This isn't just steady, boring growth. This is a fundamental shift in the size and scope of the entire company.
And look, this confidence comes straight from the top. The CEO, Jose Mas, says it right here. Their long-term visibility is, and I quote, better than it's ever been. When a CEO says something like that, it's a huge signal that they believe this isn't some temporary spike. This is the new normal.
So you have to be asking, where is all this growth coming from? Well, this isn't a one-trick pony. MasTec's success is built on 4 totally distinct engines of growth. And the crazy part is, right now, they are all firing at the exact same time. And you can see that diversity right here in the Q4 revenue mix. Sure, clean energy is the biggest slice of the pie, but look at power delivery, communications, and even pipelines. They're all major contributors. This means the company isn't dangerously dependent on just one market. Their real strength is their resilience. Let's just run through these engines real quick. First up, communications. Revenue here jumped 23%. This is all driven by our insatiable demand for faster data. You know, everything from upgrading your internet at home to building out the fiber backbone for the whole AI revolution. Next, power delivery. This is the business that literally keeps the lights on. It's not just growing, it just set its own record with a $5.6 billion backlog. That is a massive signal of the huge investments that are coming to modernize the country's old, aging electrical grid. Then you've got clean energy, and the growth here is just staggering. A 53% jump in their backlog from 1 year to the next, all fueled by the boom in solar and wind projects. This isn't just another business segment for them. It's really the core of MasTec's big bet on a renewable future. And finally, whatever you do, don't count out pipelines. After a pretty slow period, this whole segment just came roaring back with a 50% revenue surge in the fourth quarter alone. It's a really dramatic turnaround that just proves that even their more traditional businesses are finding new life and new demand. But okay, beyond those 4 main engines, there's another massive trend that MasTec is riding, and it might just be the biggest one of all: the data center explosion. They have strategically put themselves right in the middle of building the infrastructure for the AI era, and oh boy, is it already paying off. So what does it really look like when a company perfectly positions itself to capitalize on the AI and data explosion? I mean, what kind of numbers are we even talking about here? The answer? $1 billion. That is the value of new data center work that MasTec booked in Q4 alone. This includes a massive strategic win for them, their first ever contract to manage the entire construction of a data center site from the ground up, what they call a turnkey project. And their strategy here is just brilliant. First, they get in the door by offering to manage the entire complex project. Then, they use their own deep expertise in power, in communications, and civil work to do more of the key jobs themselves. It's that 1-2 punch that is their ticket to exponential growth in this sector. So, a record-breaking past and a booming new market, that's all great. But what about the future? Well, MasTec's own forecast for 2026 shows they have absolutely no intention of slowing this train down. They are projecting a massive leap to $17 billion in revenue. That's nearly 20% growth on an already giant number. And they expect profitability, their EBITDA, to jump even faster by 26%. This is not a company that's hitting a plateau. They are flooring the accelerator. And part of that confidence comes from some really smart acquisitions they've made. They bought a company called NV2A, specifically to get better at managing those super complex projects like billion-dollar data centers. And with another purchase, McKay, they're opening up a whole new front in water infrastructure, tapping into yet another growth trend that could last for decades. So after a quarter like this, you realize the big challenge for MasTec isn't going to be finding growth. I mean, the demand is literally everywhere. The real test now is all about execution. Can they actually deliver on this unprecedented boom without stumbling? Managing all the success? Well, that's going to be their next and maybe their biggest billion-dollar bet.